Welcome back to the Back in Time channel. So Kandi did a speak on it after episode 4 of Queens of R&B aired last night. And I'm going to put the YouTube link to her YouTube and the speak on it episode in its entirety down below in the description box. So when you get a moment, go ahead and check out her full review of that episode. But that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because I wanted to talk about the things that Kandi addressed on that speak on it concerning her beef with Tamar, and also the allegations that Tamar made against Todd as well. And I also want to speak on what Kandi talked about involving Tasha, who is the band member of her group Escape. So Kandi started off her speak on it basically addressing Tamar and what she had to say. She basically said that she was busy all week. She was in handling business or whatever. So she didn't have time to really respond to all the drama that was going on, because Kandi was a hot topic all week. Every day you would see something about Kandi, the group, or Kandi and Tamar. And it just was a bunch of things going on in the blog. But Kandi's name was heavy in it, but she never had time to really respond like she wanted to. So she basically saying the issue with Tamar was not the way Tamar made it. Basically, she's saying that they had a discussion, it got heated, but not the way Tamar is explaining it. She says that when she saw Tamar, she had no intent on arguing with her or anything like that. She was going to keep it cordial with Tamar. She was going to speak and keep it moving. And she said it wasn't until Tamar kept pressing her, saying that basically, why you not giving me the reaction I want you to give me, that's when she went into her whole spiel of saying what she's saying. So they got into it about that. Kandi said that Tamar tried to make it seem like as though she was mad about what she said on this.
He's the one who stole my group's life story and sold it to TV1. When you're a public figure, they can do unauthorized stories about you. Never once, all them years we have been around each other, he had never once told me that he was trying to do a movie about us and to go behind my back. I was like, I can't him ever again.
Just why I don't agree with her calling him a thief. You know what I mean? I think that's a little off the deep end.
What would you do if you be producers?
Yeah, that's shady baby, but something in the milk ain't clean. I don't know. I'm not totally convinced that that's what it is. I don't know. I want to hear from Carlos because I want to know the tea.
Kandi had an issue with what Tamar doubled down on. She said that Tamar said in her post that Carlos King didn't have a reason to steal nothing from nobody, basically making Kandi look like what she was saying was not true, or making her allegations against Carlos seem invalid.
She had already unfollowed me on social media. She did. I know she has you guys thinking that I was upset about the Dish Nation interview. That was not what my issue was. My issue was that after the Dish Nation interview, she actually went in her story and reposted the person that I was having a problem with, or whatever, or past problems with. She reposted them and put like, you ain't gotta steal from nobody, or some type of comment on her story, as if what I was saying was a lie, which is what I had a problem with. It was like, the person that I'm having an issue with, he's not even talking about this. So why are you involving yourself in our business? And why are you doubling down on it in your story if it's just about, you being interviewed on Dish Nation?
And Kandi felt some type of way about it, because she said she thought her and Tamar were cool. But she said prior to her even running into Tamar in that hallway, Tamar had already unfollowed her. So that was key details that Tamar left out. She never mentioned that she had already unfollowed Kandi for whatever reason. But Kandi always thought that was good, because Kandi said she had seen her prior to that out on a little date, and she had went over there and said hello to her, and they was cordial and everything. So she thought everything was all good. Also spoke about how things began to escalate between those two, because Kandi was like, at some point in the conversation, everything was going calm and cool, and then she was like, in the other, things started getting heated and it started to escalate. And she was like, people was walking by, people was walking past, but it was folks out there, a part of their team. Don Juan was out there, Kandi Security was out there, the promoter, and some other important people that's a part of their team that was out there. So it wasn't like, they were out there by themselves, but people was walking by and they didn't want them to hear what Tamar and Kandi was really discussing. So they was all trying to really get them to go in the back room and talk it out. Kandi was like, some point they was real calm because they was really trying to work it out. Then some point it got escalated. And Kandi said it herself. She admitted she don't know if it was the people around her that was hype, that was basically making them feel hype or whatever. But things got heated between them two, and I can see it. I can definitely see Kandi, you know, getting rowdy, saying that she gonna take it to the next level because at that point, she heated, she mad, she frustrated, and her feelings are valid. That's supposed to be your friend, but you sit there and you do something like that, and you make her seem like a lie. So I understand where Kandi was coming from. Then she said at some point Tamar brought up the fact that this ain't the housewives or something like that. But Kandi's point with Tamar was that what if she would have went against Tamar in public and said something siding with WeTV when Tamar had that whole incident with WeTV, and Tamar would have felt some kind of way. And I understand where Kandi was coming from with that. So she said Tamar said this ain't the housewives, she don't do all that, whatever. And then she said at that point, they was really getting heated and things were really getting heated. They were arguing, they were loud. Todd had to intervene and grab Kandi and try to calm her down and say, hey babe, hey, you already know what this is. You already know what it is or whatever. She said that Todd never even addressed Tamar, never even said anything to her. But I'm going to play this clip from Kandi Speak On It of Todd explaining his side of the story. So go ahead and check out this clip.
So I'm walking towards the side of the stage. I see homie, but the crazy thing is, I've seen this dude out in Atlanta. Like, I've seen him I go to this spot called Tribeca, Whiskey Mistress. So when I see him as a familiar face. I didn't know it was her dude. So I go dap him up. And then he's like, yo, I'm with Tamar now. I'm like, okay, cool. He was like, yo, she told me that something happened. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. So for me, his tone and his energy is mad calm and cool. It's on some grown up shit. We talking like two grown men. So I'm not thinking this is a big deal thing. So, because after I see all of this stuff, I threatened her, I tried to fight her. Now, homie would have been coming a little differently. If
you didn't see nothing. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying what we've seen that she's saying now.
Oh, what she's saying.
That, that I tried to threaten her, I tried to fight her. Homie's energy would have been much different. So homie wasn't coming with no type of negative energy. So we basically gave each other the same energy. He gave me calm and cool, I gave him calm and cool. So I explained to him what happened. The same story you heard. I told my wife, yo, come on man, let's go. You know what it is, da. Homie ain't have no problem with it. And then I went on to say, yo, I've always been cool with Tamar. I've never had a problem with her. I explained to him what happened, yo, they were getting in this heated argument, it started escalating. I told my wife, yo, let's go. You know what it is, man, let's go, leave this shit alone. Homie, he didn't have no problem with that. He didn't buck up like, yo, why you saying, you know what it is. I never said that to her. I said that to my wife, and that was it. So then after that, I'm like, yo, I never had a problem with Tamar. We've always been cool. Even if my wife got a little tiff with her, I ain't had no problems with what they were dealing with. I see her out as love, hugs, whatever. So I'm like, yo, let's go talk to Tamar and just clear this shit up. Because my vibe is, when the fellas are around, the energy is more calmer with the women. Like we can kind of help them talk on another level instead of arguing. So when we walk over towards her, I guess she see me and homie ain't arguing, we ain't fussing. We walking over there like grown men, and we just had a discussion and everything is cool. She started flaring and cursing, and for me, I'm not dealing with that shit. So I told him, I was like, yo, bro, you got that, I'm out, and I walk away. And that was it. Nobody checked me, and you can see it in his statement. I looked embarrassed. I don't even know what embarrassed looks like, but shit, I ain't have nothing to be embarrassed about, because this was between them. So all I'm saying is, me and bro spoke man to man, and it was cool, and I'm thinking it's done, you know what I mean? And I prefer that. I prefer we talk man. This right here is not necessary, but I do gotta, say my.
Okay, you seen the clip where Todd was basically telling his side of the story. Again, if you want to see the rest that Kandi has explained on her Speak On It in detail, you got to go to her channel and check that out. But basically, Todd was saying that he never stepped crazy to Tamar. Even Kandi said that there was security and everything already around them. They had their own security. So Todd had no reason to even step and threaten Tamar or do any of that. Then even Todd talked about how, the person that Tamar is with, the guy that Todd said he's seen him. They ran into each other a couple of times. And he said he finally came up and spoke to Todd and everything was cool, man to man. They had a cool, calm, collected conversation. He was like, so all this stuff talking about he had to come and check him and stuff like that. He was like, oh, none of that never happened. He said he didn't even come to Todd. He never came to him on any type of aggressive behavior. So it never even escalated to that. So there was apparently a lie also that what was put out, according to Todd. And when Todd said that he tried to go over there and try to see if he can just fix things with Tamar because he never really had no problem with it, I can definitely see Tamar having an outburst and getting up and cursing and getting all out. I can definitely see, her track record says it all. So I can definitely see her doing it. also in Kandi Speak on It, she talked about how Tamar was involving herself in the business with her and Carlos, but she's like, she should know how it feels to be in business and with business, dealing with business issues, because she did the same thing to her friends, or her so-called friends, or the friends that's in Kandi's circle. When she got fired from The Real, she basically got mad at them because she felt as though they were supporting the show and they fired her. So she felt some type of way, and she unfriended all of them. So Kandi's point was there was a business issue that was going on that ain't have nothing to do with Tamar, but she intervened herself in it. But she threw those other friends in there and just cut them off because they didn't side with her and stuff like that. So I see where Kandi was coming from with her point with that. It definitely was a contradiction on Tamar's part. And she also said, like, that has nothing to do with her. The issue that she has with Carlos has absolutely nothing to do with Tamar, so there was no reason for her to even intervene. And I was thinking, why is Tamar trying to be Carlos's mouthpiece? Because I just didn't understand why she would say that, and she's supposed to be cool with Kandi. She had to know that was going to go somewhere. And again, making it seem like the Dish Nation segment that she had was the reason Kandi was mad, when it wasn't. But I won't lie, on this Speak on It, when Kandi called the guy that Tamar is dating her her contestant putting out fake news, I was laughing because it was funny. She called the man a contestant. She said, when your contestant on the show put out fake news, that was a really funny part of the Speak on It. And she says basically that her family is a trigger for her. When you come out and you attack her family, i.e. maybe her kids, her mom, her husband being tired in this case, it's going to get a certain reaction from her, and she's going to feel some type of way. And she's like, she called her a billy goat online, called her voice a billy goat. Tamar was attacking Kandi's voice, and Kandi was like, yeah, okay, that's fine or whatever, but as great as a voice you have, you're on here basically starting drama with me, and nobody knows you even have a single out. She was like, you're supposed to be promoting your music, but you over here promoting drama with me. She was like, I guess I'm just an advertisement for everybody. That's what Kandi was like. Everybody wants to sit up here and use her basically to promote. Now, in this part of the Speak on It, Kandi said she felt very offended, or she felt some really type of way. She felt it was very low of Tamar to allude that Todd was abusing her, because she said she felt like Tamar, being a victim of being in an abusive relationship, she used that basically as a weapon against Kandi, and as if, you know, or not as a weapon, but like as a joke that people can laugh at and throw in her face and stuff like that. She was like, that was just low of her, because that's something that's very serious and shouldn't be taken lightly. And I understand where she was coming from with that. And Kandi made it clear that she was never had been in no abusive relationship, and that Todd never abused her.
And this is another thing. Okay, back to the part about my husband. This is the part that really almost made me do a full Speak on It, where I was like,
Me and my non-singing ass gonna keep on saying bitch.
When she said the thing online about my husband must be abusing me and all of this stuff, trying to make him seem like he does physical abuse, like I've been, like as if I'm in an abusive relationship, I was like, what? That is not anything that you're supposed to play with. People, you should not play with abuse of women. You know what I mean? Physical abuse of women. I've never been in a physically abusive relationship. I've never been in that experience. You know what I mean? But my heart goes out to women who have had that experience. I know she has said that she has had that experience. So why would she try to make that as shade or read to me to make up like I've been in an abusive relationship? Like, now that was low. That was deep. And yeah, sis, like that was too much. Like you was doing a lot right there. A person who's been through physical abuse should not be using that as like something people could joke or laugh about. Okay.
And so she also talks about her group member, Tasha. And she talked about Tasha's whole PSA that she put out on her YouTube channel, and how she found it comical that she was using a lot of clips from her Speak on It. And she was like, she would be petty and get a strike for her including her content in there, but she's like, that's just another reason for her to say, oh, look at Kandi, she still see this what I'm talking about, she trying to stop me, and she's like, it's just a reason for us to blame for it. But she wasn't serious, she was just making a joke and making a point. But she was like how she addressed the issues that Tasha said that when they were recording in the studio, the song that Joe wrote, that it took Kandi 4 hours. 4 hours to do the song and it still was wrong. And Kandi was like, that's a whole lie. It never took her 4 hours just to try to do a verse of a song or whatever. And then she said she found it funny that she took shots at Tiny and saying that she was nasally. And she was like, she used to her taking shots at her, but she just found it funny that she was taking shots at Tiny. She said, Kandi said that Tasha was also lying about the incident when she said that Kandi and Jermaine was in the hallway or something like that, and Kandi was crying or whatever because she had an issue with Tasha doing lead or whatever, and Kandi said that was a lie. She said that wasn't an issue. She said she was mad because again they was using them to set up her solo deal, because she was like, she found out that she was only being called in to do backgrounds, and she was like, Tiny and Tamika weren't even invited, and she was like, they just wanted her background vocals, and Tasha had already recorded the entire song, so the only vocals that was on the song was Tasha, and she was crying because she was like, you definitely using us for her solo deal and stuff. So she was like, it was basically Tasha's song. And she said in the argument things got heated, and you know how Kandi is very emotional. And she said her issue was not with Todd. Not Todd. Her issue was not with Tasha singing lead. Her issue was with the head of the label, which was Jermaine Dupri at that time, and why he was making the decision that he was making. She said that's why she was crying when she saw them in the hallway, because Kandi was upset and emotional. And she didn't like that she clowned her voice along with the other people, you know, that's been crowning her voice as well. She was like, she didn't like how she included that clip of her laughing at her vocals and stuff like that, because Candace like, this same voice that you cracking on is the voice that plays a major part in the hits that we have. One of the biggest hits was Just Kicking It. She was like, she's doing the lead on the #1 hit of all their records that they have that you are a part of. And she said she felt some type of way about that because they all are part of the same group. And you sit over here cracking on my voice, and as long as you know me, you've never expressed anything about my voice. And Candace said that what's so funny is that she don't never talk about Tasha's voice or those 1993 runs that she always does. She said she thought about it and she could have said something, but she didn't. And so
that's what you're doing. It's stupid for you to do that. And then on top of that, yeah, people been clowning me, but lately they've been clowning you too for singing them same tight runs you've been singing since 1993. I need you to play that clip that people been. I'm gonna give it to you. They've been clowning you too. But have I been trying to go online like, oh, she's saying them same tight runs? It's not like I never thought it. It's not like I never thought it. I would have never said that. But since you want to go and throw in mud at it.
She was like, what's so crazy is that she already has a #1 gospel charting song. She was like the same thing that Tasha better hope, or that she's trying to get, and still haven't gotten yet. So she better hope that her album goes #1, because Candace Just Stay Prayed Up was #1 on the was a #1 gospel song. And so she wants her album to blow up, because Candace says that she hopes that her solo goes great, because she no longer want to work with her. She don't want to do business with her. And so at that point, Kandi is just through doing business with Tasha. As you can see, Escape been touring, and they've been doing great. They still have those shows. Now, I'm not, I don't know if they still selling out and stuff, but because I don't just be checking in and looking in like that. But I'm sure they still, they ain't got no problem getting ticket sales, is basically what I'm saying. Because again, all those women are versatile, and everybody can sing everybody's part. And so again, they really don't even need her. So if she want to go over and do her gospel deal, let her be. But I just wanted to come on and talk about that, speak on it, because it was a really good speak on it. Make sure you go to Candy's channel and check it out. Again, that link is down below in the description. I had to just come on and give my thoughts a little bit. about what was going on, but it really doesn't matter what I think. I want to know what you think down below. So down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe here with us at Back in Time. But until next time,
this is a good time. Get the stepping. This is a good time. Get the stepping.